GhostBSD is a FreeBSD based OS that is very close to my heart. I use it on the children's computers and it came in very handy during the lockdowns. I'm sure that we all remember them. And I wanted a FreeBSD based computer that was quick to set up and out of the box would work. And GhostBSD fulfilled that. So when I hear that there's a new version of GhostBSD, of course, I'm going to want to review it. There are a lot of changes and bug fixes, etc. in this new version of GhostBSD, and as well as the underlying FreeBSD 14 it's based upon. So if you want a full list of available fixes, etc., then I'll leave a link in the description box down below for both GhostBSD and FreeBSD's changes. But for now, I'm just going to give you the highlights. And one of them is it's based upon FreeBSD 14 now, rather than 13.2, I think was the last version. Language additions and fixes. Network Manager has been updated. Wine compatibility fix. And a couple of bug fixes to URL lib 3 and Jinja 2, or Jinja 2. I say, I'll leave a link in the description box down below for the full list of changes in the changelog. One of the changes to GhostBSD is a simplified and easier upgrade from one branch to the next release branch. I'll show you. It's easy just to show you. So on this particular test machine, I'm running GhostBSD 23.10.1 based upon FreeBSD 13.2. And of course, we'll be upgrading to 24.10.1 and based upon FreeBSD 14. So we're doing a major upgrade. And according to the GhostBSD website, there's a couple of instructions to show you how you can do it relatively pain-free. So we'll have a look at that. And we'll go open a browser. And we'll go to the GhostBSD website. And the download section. And then the changelog. Then just underneath, which I'll be linking to this later on, but just underneath the changelog, it says, hopefully if I can find it, there we go. To upgrade GhostBSD 23.10.1 to 24.10.1 with PKG. And normally I don't advocate you copy and paste instructions that you find on the internet, but because it's coming from the main site, then yeah, I think we can trust it. So just copy that and paste that into there. And it will bring in a new list of FreeBSD 14 based packages with the upgraded ABI. Put the password in. Then it says PKG static. Major OS version upgrade detected. So it wants to know whether we want to fetch and install the new PKG, which we do. A bit of bootstrapping going on. There we go. Just have a look at that. So that doesn't take 2 minutes. What does take a little bit of time is the upgrading of the system itself. Of course, you'd expect that to be the case. So we copy the second bit and paste that in, and this one will forcefully upgrade the packages to the 14 branch set. It gives you a little warning, but I think you can safely ignore the mismatch. And it's telling you that running kernel packages, it's just, you can say yes here. And it should, there's a list in a minute, hopefully, of what we need to upgrade. Yep, there we go. It tells you everything they need. 1 removed, 31 installed, 244 upgraded, and 417 to be reinstalled. So we can again say yes here, and that should be it. We'll fast forward the next bit because it does take a while, and I'll see you on the other side. Right, that's done. And there's a couple of more steps if they apply to you. One, you can upgrade the pool, the ZFS pool or the Z pool, and you can also change your EFI partition in case you need to do that. I don't need to do the EFI one because I'm not running a system that's running EFI on it, and I don't think I need to upgrade the pool, so I can just skip that and reboot. Right, so we're rebooting, and hopefully the system has been upgraded. Right, so it's going through the usual. Hopefully it has. Well, it's looking good so far. It's actually booting, so that's a good thing. Okay, we'll let that go. And yes, I think it has because it's changed the login screen wallpaper. Not an indication of much, I know, but it's a start. So we'll just log in. And yeah, the wallpaper looks the same, so I'm going to have to trust it has. But yeah, I think it has. Future RoboNuggie here. Yes. Well, you see, what happened was, I'm unable to show you confirmation that it did upgrade, but it did upgrade, is just that my Evermedia capture device decided on, when it decided to reboot, that once I logged into the desktop, it would stop recording. It's done this a few times. Don't know why it does it. And if I'm knee deep and elbows, sleeves up and getting into it, and I don't actually double check to make sure that it's carrying on recording, I can do a whole segment and it hasn't done it, which is a little bit infuriating, and a few colourful metaphors may come out. So on this occasion, I didn't check, and so I missed the confirmation bit. But it did upgrade properly, and everything was smooth. And when I did a uname, it showed you that it upgraded to FreeBSD 14 and GhostBSD, and it was good. You got to take my word for it. Thank you. Right, we're going to install a brand new fresh version of GhostBSD rather than using the upgrade. So we're at the download page of the GhostBSD site, and we don't want the community image, we don't want the latest build, we want the official one. And you choose a mirror closest to yourself. So for me, that's going to be the French one. It might be something different for yourself. And away we go. And it will start downloading. Now, it's a fair speed. My internet's not the fastest. It's a 2.5 gigabyte image, and it's not too bad. If you want to support GhostBSD, then this is the page where you can make a donation, and it's a well worth thing to do. But while that's downloading, we'll have a quick look around the website. See, the GhostBSD website has been done up at a lick of paint in the last few months. It's looking very good. It's looking very nice, neat and tidy. There's your sponsors, and it's nicely laid out. It always gives you the latest desktop there, so you know what it looks like. There's an about section where it tells you everything you need to know about your license and things like that. Latest news will obviously tell you that there's a new version available. So that's very good. It says GhostBSD 24.01. I thought it was 10. Oh, never mind. Mislabeling. And there's a documentation, which will give you FreeBSD, Mate, the whole lot really as well, which is pretty damn good. And you got community links, which is nice. Support, in case you need support. There's frequently asked questions is worth reading. Development, if you're into developing or you want to develop for FreeBSD or GhostBSD, that's always something to do. Some stores if you want to buy some merch. And a donate to Patreon donors and sponsors. So it's very good. And there's a minimum specs, which, you know, they have to put minimum specs, but, you know, I don't think many people run it so low these days. And there's all your bug fixes, etc. How to upgrade. And we will be needing this in a bit, where it tells you how to write the the ISO to the USB stick, including Windows as well. So rather than you could use Etcher or you could use DD for Windows, which blew me away because I had no idea you could get DD for Windows. It's a mad world, isn't it? I'm flabbergasted by that, but there you go. So it shows you how to use DD on BSDs, Linux and Mac. So we'll just fast forward this bit. And close that down. If you go to the download folder where it should hopefully be downloaded, because you never know these things. Oh, and there it is. Okay, that's fine. A new freshly baked ISO. So we open up a terminal and just a little there. We'll get rid of that in a bit, but just keep that there for now. And close that down and we'll open up. Actually, no, I shouldn't have closed the browser, but never mind. We'll open up the browser again. Like I say, you could, if you're on Windows or Mac, I don't know what's available for Mac, but say Windows, you could use Belena Etcher or anything like that. But if you're on any of the BSDs, FreeBSD or OpenBSD or NetBSD, then maybe DD is the best choice. But you have to be careful with DD to make sure you put in the right drive, because you don't want it writing over something you don't want it to be written over. So, but because we're on GhostBSD, we use the BSD one, so we're going to copy that. And paste it there. And press enter. Okay, no such file or did I get the name of it wrong? Oh, I know what it is. I did this before. Yeah, that little warning where you shouldn't just copy blind commands off the internet, but it was alright because it's on the GhostBSD site. It is true generally, but not in this case. If you just copy it straight and then press enter, you'll get an error. And that's because it's telling you to DD input file downloads directory. Now, if you're not in a download directory or it's not properly linking to it as this isn't, then you're just going to have to issue the command again. If we just delete this little bit, and because we're in the directory where it is, we just press enter and it should work. And there's a little lesson for you. I've just learned something myself. I didn't even follow my own advice. Right, so that's done. We can now reboot. We'll keep the USB stick in this test machine, and we should boot into the live session, and then we can we can install a clean GhostBSD setup. So I'm going to USB to make sure it is booting from USB. Your machine might be different. It might be set up to boot automatically. It might not. It might look different. But if you need to, then that's the point in which you do it, to make sure you boot from the USB. So now we're booting into GhostBSD's live session off the USB stick. Ooh, yes. It's not a virtual box. It knows we're not in a virtual box, so it doesn't need that. And it's installing and extracting the video. I love this. The fact that GhostBSD automatically detects your graphics driver and installs it. Brilliant. I like that. So it should start up in a minute. It's looking good. Yeah, there we go. Right. We're on the live session desktop. So let's have a look at the version to make sure. GhostBSD 24.01.1. And based upon FreeBSD 14. Nicey nice. Well, what can you say? It's a typical, except for the wallpaper, of course, that's new. It's a typical GhostBSD install, where you get the accessories. You get the, I think the usual Mate accessories. I don't think there's anything particularly GhostBSD on this one. Graphics. You don't get a GIMP, but you get a few others. You get internet, Firefox, etc. You don't get any Office thing in the Office thing. Sound and vision, you get the bare essentials on that, and that. So it's all pretty standard, really. And for places, you know, it will list your home folder, desktop, etc. And for system, you've got preferences, you've got hardware, etc. These two are all combined in the control center. But if you wanted them separate, then you can just go into that menu and do that. And yeah, some couple of software stations and upgrade stations. You got help, about, lock, log out, and shutdown. On the about, we're on version 1.26.0 of Mate. I don't know what the latest version is. I think it's pretty close to that. So close that. And we'll have a quick look at the control center. Because I think the control center of GhostBSD is one of its highlights, I think. Especially when you've got the backup station and the software station and the update station, which I love these tools, by the way. I think they're really good. They're a good addition. And at the bottom, if I can find it there, Station Tweak. Maybe it should be called Tweak Station. But yeah, they're little GhostBSD specific little things which, I don't know, it gives it certain little characteristics which I like. And of course, you've got normal tools which maybe you'll find in other systems running Mate. I am not sure. So, yeah. If you right click, you'll get a little menu where you can create files, create launchers, open terminal, etc. and change desktop background, which we'll have a look at. If it loads up, there we go. And they have some new wallpapers, which is a welcome addition. I didn't mind the old ones, but these ones are pretty cool. And let's have a look. You've got this, I think it's sort of like a funky cloud. So it's pretty weird. Mountain tops. Very nice. You've got building tops. Very nice. You've got a lake looking at a city. Is that Canada? Toronto, is it maybe? You've got a universe one. Looking at... I didn't mean to press that. That one, I mean. And we'll get rid of that. Like a universe one, galaxy one. You've got a mountain top with a moon. Very artistic. You've got these small little outcrops of rocks that look like heads. Very nice. Got the yellow one that we've seen, and this rather funky looking laptop. And a snow one at the bottom, which, imagine if you lived there. Whee! So very nicely done, very, very tasteful. Not too garish. And I'm just going to change some of these fonts to make them a little bit more readable to me, because my eyesight is, it's getting worse as I'm getting older. There we go. And make sure that it's smoothing for LCDs, and everything looks nice now. Right, so we're going to install. Double-clicking on the install icon will take us to a familiar little screen. It gives you a layout of languages that you can choose on the left. And it looks pretty much the same as every other install that I've done on GhostBSD. Nothing really changes that much, little tweaks here and there. Although, saying that, I think that the list of languages is slightly smaller. I could be wrong on that. And the United Kingdom one is pretty much at the top, where I think further down last time. I might be wrong on that. But that's fine. Click next. And the list of keyboard layouts, it's as comprehensive as always, really. Almost every keyboard layout is covered there. So you're going to be pretty unlucky if yours isn't on there. Probably will be my luck with that. And we've got English UK. There it is. And then you got your keyboard models on there. I forgot what my on the test machine is a pretty generic keyboard, but I always like to see if they've included the Sun Type 7, which they have, which I use on my main machine, and it's a lovely keyboard. So next on that, time zone, you've got your main continents, which are in Europe, and then it lists, unusually I think, all the major cities in the continents rather than by country. But that's fine, you just find your main capital if you should know it, obviously. London for me. Next one, installation type. You can customize it or go for full disk. If you customize it, it gives you a chance to I don't know, resize partitions and just generally do it by hand. Although these days I prefer to do it automatic, so I'm going to go for the full disk. And you get a nice, I think, relatively neat interface. So you choose your hard drive you want to install to. I'm going to leave false ZFS as it is. Pool name, we'll leave that in a minute. Single disk, 2 disk, 3 disk. You choose whatever your system has got. So if you've got 2 disks, you could go, for instance, Stripe. But I've only got a single disk on this. And pool name, I usually change it. I alternate. If I'm doing different installs on the test machine, I'll go from tank to zroot to zpool, whatever I want to change it to. In this case, it's going to be tank. It stops some incompatibilities I've discovered along the way. Could leave that as default and press next. There's only the only GhostBSD on it, so I only need that. Put your name. You can put any name you want, of course. And then it does a shortened version in lowercase for your username, which I think is a really nice little touch. Password tells you it's super weak and whether or not it matches. That's pretty good. Install. Do we install now? Everything looks all right. I think we can. And that's it. I'm going to time this and fast forward. 2 minutes 17, which is not bad at all. Normally I would restart now and quickly take out the USB stick before it reboots again. But in this case, you could do it this way. You could just press continue. Let the machine go up to the menu and let the machine shut down itself. And then just leisurely take out the USB stick without having to do it like a mini USB Olympics. Anyway, so we're now booting up with the USB out and booting from the hard drive. And first thing you see is that the login screen hasn't got a background, which is a known issue. Tells you on the GhostBSD website that on first boot in, you don't get the screen. Whereas when I upgraded, it did. It's weird. It's just a little thing that they're aware of. Right, so there's the desktop in its wonderful, glorious, sunny yellow. And everything that was there in the live session is there again, including this wonderful control center, which we can have a closer look at now that it's installed. The backup station really wouldn't have worked on the live session. So you put in your password, and what this will do, it'll take a snapshot of the system as it is now. And this essentially just lets you take a snapshot and of a working system in case you screw it up, and you can re-go back and undo all your stuff. And there's already one in there which it does automatically, which is pretty neat. So you can create a new one, you can rename a new one or an old one, you can delete an old one or a new one, you can activate it, mount one to make changes without going into it, or unmount it. So when you create one, you can call it anything you want. It kind of makes sense to call it something related to the time at which it was created, like GhostBSD on the 24 or 0101. And then you could append the time on the end just to let you know when you did it. Or you could call it whatever you want. You could call it hello or hello teddy bear or whatever you want to call it. But as long as you understand the version that you've, the snapshot that you've just created. And if we wanted to boot into that next time, we'd activate it. And away you go. Which we're not going to do that. We're going to delete it because it's a silly name. And like I say, if I can find the thing, like you say, if you can call it something more serious. So you can delete that. Create a new snapshot. Call it GhostBSD. And I say this has saved my bacon a lot. You can create a little copy of a working system. Do something completely stupid, roll back to an earlier version where you didn't do the stupid mistake, and everything's good. Just don't do it again. So that's that. That is actually it's an almost invaluable tool for GhostBSD. I like it very much. Next, we've got we can set up print. Call it Print Station. That'd be good. But anyway, what you do is that when you click on it, it opens behind the main window that you're looking at. Which, unless you knew that, you'd be sat there just tapping on it and know what happened. But anyhow, it pops up a little print setting window. You unlock it, put in your password, your admin password, and then you would go down to add prints, because it's telling you there's no prints configured yet. And this is just really a little front end for cups. So you add, You can either put in the URL or URI of the printer, or you can search for it on your network. And it automatically detects the fact of the Xerox that I've got. So click on that. And it's all pretty done automatically for you. It's searching for drivers. It will come up with, if I can remember, it will come up with a generic driver. So unless you need for yours a more specific one, which you might be able to download, generic works for me. It might not work for you, it works for me. And you can always put your own PPD file in there if you wish. And PCL laser is the generic one that works again. Again, yours might be different. And it tells you if there's any options that you can select. Remind there's a duplexer there. And you can change the details of where it is if you've got more than one printer. And we'll apply that and print the test page. Looking good so far. And if it's printed out, I'll show you in a minute. And there we go. Little test page with little messages on it and generic PCL laser. And there's the IP. And there's the date, Wednesday, the February the 21st. Very nice. So it prints perfectly. Saves a lot of time, and it's a lot easier than it used to be, I can tell you that. So kudos to GhostBSD for this. And you can check the properties of it if you want later on. Right. Okay. Next up is Software Station. You can't see it because it's just slightly off screen, but next up is Software Station. I'll have a look at that. That's allow you to install software via a nice little GUI. So it's a bit like OctoPKG on FreeBSD for users who use that, but a little bit more polished. And this might be a slow startup because it's getting the latest packages available. And we can install pieces of software that you want that don't come with GhostBSD. And in this case, we want some graphics, and some multimedia, for instance, and a little game. So we'll put in LibreOffice, because it doesn't come with any word processing ability, which I still think is a shame. But it's easy enough to install your own. Select English GB for me. Yours will be different, of course, if you speak a different language in a different part of the world. And then we're going to look for Inkscape. These are the tools which I use every day. So Inkscape, oh, okay, symbols, we'll put them. Then we will need, I don't know, video edit. So you got Caden Live. Do you know, I always type out, it's got like predictive text, but I always type out the full title. It's Caden Live. And then Simple Screen Recorder. When I put the short thing, you get lots with simple in it. So there it is. Very handy little tool. Okie doke. And finally, I think we'll put in a game. So I'll have a look at emulators. No, we want a game. A simple game, really, for a simple game player. If you've all seen my gameplay before, I'm not exactly ready to join phase. Right, so there's L Breakout. That's a good one. Yeah, we won't choose anymore. And we'll just apply that, and it should start downloading. There's a list of what we want to do. It's going to pull in some software, of course. Caden Live will definitely pull in some. Right, okay. And I'll time it, because GhostBSD is not always the fastest when it comes to downloading. And just over 7 minutes, 20 seconds. 22 seconds. Not too bad. A lot of it's to do with the speed of the internet as well, of course. There's the games, Office, and LibreWriter. Oh, it starts up quite quick on this. My main system on FreeBSD is a little bit slow, but on this one it's quite fast. Just tidy things up a little bit here. Zoom in, page width. Okay. And it's customary, really, we have to type something out. Hello there. Oh, no. I'm channeling my inner Ewan McGregor then. No, just put hello. And there. Make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Maximum font size. There we go. One thing I do like is that the font rendering seems to be fairly good. Nice and smooth. I remember the old days where things used to be jagged and wasn't so good. A long time ago on FreeBSD, by the way. It's been great for quite a while now. So yes, very nice. I didn't mean them to pop up. There we go. We don't need to save that, and we'll come out. Very nice. Yeah, I like the package manager in GhostBSD. It just feels good, you know, nice and smooth. So next up we've got Update Station. I don't anticipate that there are any updates to load. I'm pressing that will just really check to see any security updates or updates to programs, etc. No, there's none available. I didn't think there would be because it's a relatively new release. Displays, if you need to change your monitors or your setup or your number of desktops or all them kind of things. Not your number of desktops, just your monitors. What am I talking about? So yeah, we don't need to change that on that. It's useful if you do though. And keyboard, if you want to change various little things about your keyboard, accessibility, mouse, etc. Keyboard shortcuts, if that's your thing. It really should be my thing. I should learn these. But if you're really into keyboard shortcuts, you can define your own or use the ones that's already given. Mouse, if you want to change anything to do with your mouse, like right or left-handed. A lot of these are self-explanatory, but they're still very useful. Power management, if you want to tweak that. I'll just turn that off so it doesn't blank. It's very good. Time and date usually has an issue, which it does still. That's to do with systemd, I think, from what I was having a word with Eric about a while back. It's just one of those things until it gets sorted out. It won't let you unlock it anyway, so we'll just move on from that. Network proxy, if you're using one, there's where you put all your various ignored hosts and fill out your details. I'm not using a proxy, so I'm not going to change that. Appearance, again, you get one theme, really, different variations of it. And the backgrounds that we looked at earlier. Two windows open, that's interesting. Okay, both the same. And I've lost my train of thought. There's your background, there's your fonts, and interface if you need to change little things about your menu, etc. Speaking of menu, there's your main menu if you want to edit anything in there. If you want to take things out, add things, change icons, etc. Pop-up notifications for anything that pops in the top right-hand corner. It's pretty good. I'll leave it as standard. Screensaver, if you don't want, again, this is your monitor if you want no activity to come on after 5 minutes. I still say it would be nice if we had a GhostBSD version, but you never know. And station tweak, if you want to have cluttered, but like a populated desktop. Some people do, some people don't, and clicking and unclicking these will take on or off the icons. That if you want to change the top and bottom little taskbar, etc. If you want to emulate a Mac or netbook, or just keep it as the Mate desktop. And text beside that. This is if you want to have a compositor or not. I kind of like do and I don't. I like it because of the shadows and I don't because I think it does lag the system a little bit. If you want to change the position of them widgets, and this is another compositor which makes everything go away, which is handy, isn't it? Let's go back to that. I think it uses Marco by default for some reason it wasn't selected. You can change the placement of the windows and compositor there. Another one. A little bit of repetition there, but that's fine. Where are we now? The About Me, if you want to change your profile picture or change your password. Might be good on a multi-user system, of course. Assistive technologies if you need someone who has, needs extra help, which I think we all do from time to time, which is a useful thing to have. File management. Yeah, okay. If you want to change the browser, not the browser. If you want to change the file manager, good grief, how it behaves, how you list columns, previews, audio, media, and you can choose which opens your media, etc. I think Kaja is the browser, the file manager. I keep calling it browser. And if you want to talk about browser, if you want to change your default applications when you click on things, or what handles links, etc. And of course, there's Office now, but they don't usually when you first install the system. And accessibility. There you go. Preferred application, I've done that one. And startup applications, if you want, obviously when the desktop starts up, which can be useful if you need a little script to run when you first start the system up, which I've done once or twice. Say like you want to overclock your NVIDIA card or something, you can just put it in there. And remember your session if you want to do that. So yes, the control center is I like it. It's very very useful for some Station Tweak's open for some reason. So yeah, very nice. And we'll have a look at Firefox. As always, there'll be someone who will ask what version of Firefox it is. Because, it can matter whether you want to choose an OS. And there's Firefox. And we'll have a look at... Just find the... you'd think they put it in a little bit better position, wouldn't you? About Firefox. Okay, so it's 1.0.1. I'm not quite sure what the version is at the time of you seeing this, but it won't be far off. The next thing we're going to look at is Lynis, which I used to do. It's a little security tool. Some people like it, some people don't. I like it. It gives you just a general rundown of the security of your system. I used to put it in some reviews. I stopped doing it for a while. I don't know why. Maybe I forgot to use it. But I'll start using it again. And it gives you a little indicator of how secure a newly installed OS is. And we'll just let it do its thing. And it should give you a score. I think FreeBSD, when it comes out of the box, is newly installed, is roughly about 57 or something like that. I can't remember. And anything above that is good. Of course, it stops where it doesn't tell you, so we'll need to scroll up a little bit. Scroll that. Oh, there we go. 67. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm quite pleased by that. Of course, you always got room to make it a little bit more secure. And it gives you little tips of what you can do up there. So like changing permissions, etc. But 67 is not bad. I like that. I'm quite satisfied with that. It's not going to be as strong as, say, Harddrive, but, it's okay. And then finally, after all that, we're going to have a little bit of relaxation. We're going to play a little L Breakout. And I haven't played something like this for years. I remember playing Arkanoid on the ZX Spectrum and also the Amiga. The Amiga version, very good. I like that. So it's I'm not too bad at it. It's certainly better than the other games I play. And as long as it don't get too complicated. And it got complicated. Okay, well that's fine. So that is GhostBSD. Very nice indeed. I'm never disappointed by GhostBSD, to tell you the truth. It's something which always works for me, and that's why I chose it for the kids' computers. I needed something quick and easy, FreeBSD based, of course, put on the computers that they couldn't break. As much as they tried, they can't break it, and it keeps on running, and which it did, and it saw me over the pandemic and the lockdowns, and I kept him on ever since. So this shows you a testament to GhostBSD. So anyway, after that review, I'm going to give it a score. You can probably guess what the score is. 0. No, it's not 0. You can guess what the score is. 5 nuggets. Or 5 robos. I'm not sure what they're called yet. And the reason why I give it 5 is these and a few other things, but I'll give you these ones here. Live session means try before install. Number of times someone wants to try FreeBSD, but don't because they didn't install it or think it might not work on their computer or laptop. I say to them, get yourself a copy of GhostBSD, load it onto your laptop as a live session, and you can test things. See if things work. Try it. Try before you buy. There's one or two Linux distros which let you do that, and so it's good to have a FreeBSD based one that lets you also do that. I think it's an excellent thing, and something I always recommend to people if they want to give FreeBSD a try, but don't. It's almost like putting your toe into water, really, before you put your whole foot. And it's also got a friendly and helpful developer system, ecosystem, a developer community and a general user community. It's friendly and helpful. And I mean that. It's something which I really appreciate. No question is too dumb. It's not like some forums where if you ask a genuine question, you might have a genuine question to ask, and everyone jumps on you thinking, read the RTFM, read the manual, do your work, do your homework. That is extremely off-putting, especially if you're just new to it. You're going to walk away from that and not bother using it again. I had a similar experience a couple of times. One of them when I tried OpenBSD. I did a review for one once, and one of the developers, because there's quite a few, so it's not a good blaming them all, but there was one developer and he sent me a rather terse and nasty email. And because of that experience, I've never touched OpenBSD again. So it can have an effect if you have an unfriendly or unhelpful community around an OS. Doesn't matter how great the OS is, if your community around it's a little bit toxic, which I'm not saying that OpenBSD is, but if you're unfortunate enough to come across one person that is, it can put you off, and you'll never try it again, and it's a shame. Something similar on the Reddit, on the FreeBSD Reddit forum. I won't go into that, but yeah. So yes, and it's also mature and stable. Mature and stable, and it is. In two ways. One of them is, obviously, it's based on FreeBSD. FreeBSD has been going 30 years. If it's been going 30 years, it must be doing something right. And GhostBSD itself has been going, 11, maybe 12 years? I don't know, a bit longer. I'm not quite sure, but it's been going a long time. Long enough for it to develop its own way, built upon top of FreeBSD. So both of them together, you get this super stable and mature, both of them are both mature, here to stay. OS, built on FreeBSD, with all the usability of, say, I don't know, Linux Mint maybe. I haven't used Linux Mint. But that kind of like ethos, usability. And that's excellent. It's built on FreeBSD 14, as I say. So any of all the improvements, tweaks, everything that makes FreeBSD good, and it is good, super efficient on all the hardware, you have GhostBSD on top of that. And FreeBSD has got a lot of improvements. I'll leave a link in the description box down below of all the improvements for GhostBSD, but also for FreeBSD as well. And there's a lot. And more coming up in the future. I think 14.1 has improved Wi-Fi stack, I think. So yeah. And last on the list is easy upgrade path. Well, I did try. I had a slight snafu when recording the video. But yeah, I found the upgrade path easy. It was quick. GhostBSD is a rolling release. It's not like you don't have a set release and then, a big next release and then a big next. It's continuous. The only time you really need to upgrade like that is when you're upgrading from one branch to another. But other times it's continuously getting upgraded incrementally. So, it's not a major thing. But this easy upgrade path, it simply was that. And I respect that. Brilliant. So you're not really going to have any snafus. So that's it. There's probably other ones. But I've been rambling on for far too long. That's all for this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. If you found this video useful, then please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you found more than one video useful, then please consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. I do all the videos myself on this channel. I use FreeBSD and the tools associated to do it. I don't use AI. It's all me, with me, just my passion and my interest in FreeBSD.